combination of two laws written by two completely inadequate ministers and the departments they head, the Home Office and the Digital Media, Culture and Sport, specifically Suella Braverman and Nadine Dorries and the people who came before them, Priti Patel and Michelle Donnellan. The combination of these two bills currently going through Parliament is extremely worrying. One is an update of the Secrets Act, and the other one is the attempt to bring some sort of organisation to the security of the internet. Now, put together, these represent the biggest assault on free speech and the biggest attempt at censorship and criminalising journalism that I think has ever happened in our country. And when we look around the world at other countries that have already criminalised journalism and have restricted free speech, we need only think of Russia. But there are others. I think we are going down a very, very worrying path. And the problem is it's happening without a lot of scrutiny. So the National Secrets Act, the official Secrets Act, which talks about the safety and the interests of our nation, the National Security Bill. This is perhaps the most damning. It's poorly worded, it's badly drafted, and everybody wants, well, I presume everybody wants to care about the safety and interests of our state, but we have to be very careful what we mean when we say that something that is published may materially assist foreign powers and their spies. Well, actually, simply my putting out the rubbish may seriously assist foreign powers and their spies if they go through my waste bin, and if I've inadvertently put out something which may be I don't consider important, but they do. I am not necessarily culpable for that. And the Kremlin, China, Balloon Gate, all of these stories feed into a sort of paranoia. And the way these laws have been drafted, I personally would not be remotely reassured by Tom Tugendhat, who says that he will protect all legitimate activity. How do we know what is legitimate and what is illegitimate until after the event? There is a worry that the basic opportunity for free speech is going to be constrained because of anxiety about what other people can learn. And other nations, spies, can learn so much simply by trawling the internet. And I think actually when it comes to the printed newspapers, when it comes to journalism, a lot of journalism is late. We already know the stories anyway. And for people to be pilloried for saying what we already know would be a gross abuse of the truth. When we look over at Russia and we look over at the various media sites that have been closed down simply for reporting, simply for doing their job, we can see how a paranoid state can use the laws that exist, which may be drawn up perfectly in order to protect us. Like, for example, Clause 28, Section 28, the Thatcher Law. It had good intentions. It was heinous, and it took an incredibly long time before it was removed from the statute book. But Mr. Putin learnt. Mr. Putin enacted his own version of Clause 28, and it's been ratcheted up and up and up so that the gay community in Russia must be feeling greatly under pressure. I remember only a few years ago writing a piece about a fellow called Maxim Pankratov, who had made an innocuous YouTube video, and he was facing 12 years in prison for doing so. It's much worse now. Do we want that sort of atmosphere to be hovering over us in this country, in Britain, or anywhere in the Western world? No, we don't. We need to be very careful about the laws that we encourage. And as for laws on the internet, how on earth do we police them? How on earth do we impose them? The internet is a global phenomenon. And if, by any chance, we think we are supervising some sort of British manifestation of the internet, well, VPNs and other devices can be used to circumvent that. Are we going to suggest they are illegal? I don't know. I certainly feel extremely anxious about the future of open, free speech across the world.